Tell us just a little bit about the nation.
Sure. Well, the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma is the third largest federally recognized tribal government. The Choctaws were the first to come across on what we call the Trail of Tears. It was actually a forced relocation around the 1830s or so. And the story of the Choctaws is one of resilience, very resilient people. I was very fortunate to grow up in the heart of the Choctaw Nation because our culture in this part of the state pretty much is the Choctaw culture. Everything from the sense of humor to just the way that people are very friendly and get along with each other well. That's all from the Choctaw culture itself. But the tribe has done amazingly well. And as fate would have it, they moved to a wilderness in the 1830s, and it turns out a couple of hundred years later that we're on right on the border of some of the largest growth happening in the country right now in terms of economic activity. We literally border and right next door to the Dallas-Fort Worth region, and that's having amazing impacts on our own economy and the opportunities we have here. So the Choctaws prevail. They think so long term, and that was a big change for me after working in different levels of government. The Choctaws think generationally. And so our return on vision type metrics that we look at is what will things do for people's grandchildren? What will it do to the great grandchildren? And that's literally the lens that the tribe looks through and the leadership looks through when they make decisions. I very much admire that patience because we can lay out a long-term plan, patiently work toward it, not be influenced or distracted by hype. We say, okay, this is the end point. We're going to set it out here when we know we can do it. We're going to continue to work toward it. And that is something that's been really it's pretty cool to be part of. You know, the different things I've been in my career that are always so fast paced or driven by political cycles. That's not the case here.
Well, you said a couple things there that I love. Number one, return on vision. You know, like ROV, most people think remotely operated vehicles. Your ROV is return on vision. And so,
Yes.
James, that vision for the Choctaw Nation is really about focusing on living out the Choctaw, did I say it right? The Choctaw
Yes.
spirit, faith, family, and culture. And I'd love to hear your view and perspective on how that vision is being lived out in these initiatives on emerging tech that aid in prosperity and growth.
Sure. So for those that may not know, the word Choctaw is the Choctaw word for Choctaw. So the Choctaw
Oh,
people are the Choctaw people. So if you think about what happened, this has been with the early Choctaws moved across, they could only take what they could carry. We believe several thousand died. We don't even know the number, but we believe several thousand died along the trail. They got to the Mississippi River, and then we're told you can't even bring as much as you're carrying, you know. And so they showed up with just the clothes on their back, basically. You know, they had the cultures, traditions, and but that was about it. And so we in this area we were pretty much subject to sort of generational poverty for a long time. Some of the highest unemployment rates in the country were here. Not a lot of opportunities. You know, I was at the age back when I graduated high school. If you had any chance to leave, you did. We had this net exit of people who had the ability to go get an education. I was the first college graduate in my family.
yeah.
But the tribe has turned that around, and the way they're doing it, and I love the chief's vision. And his kind of directive to us is first we have to make people whole. Generational poverty leaves so many effects, and it's not easy to fix, but just with money. And so there's so many things that we have to do to make people whole. You know, generational poverty affects everything from health to, you know, patterns of that you can't escape of different things. So that's the number one thing. We make people whole. The next thing is we create opportunities for now, but also the future. We make these investments that in the future will continue to let the tribe sort of live out its sovereignty, be able to take care of itself and live with self-determination. So those are the things we look at. If you'll see our seal, you'll notice that the bow is unstrung. That's because the Choctaw Nation the Choctaw people are at peace, and that's what's symbolized in that seal. We're not at war. You know, many generations ago it would have been strung, but it's unstrung right now to reflect that we are at peace and we're working toward the benefit of the people, not only our tribal members, but the people around us within the region.